Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to day 25 of the ATC A Day Challenge. So I sat down at my work desk today and thought, what am I going to do? And to begin with, just couldn't think. So when I'm like that, I just think, right, let's just get some colour down onto the background. So I just took that raw umber and I'm just spreading it about very roughly. And I reached for a sponge. The sponge was dry and I just used it to dab away and just to create a bit of background interest. So just trying to show that a bit closer to the camera. Give that a quick dry and then I took some black, and what I'm trying to do here is just to take, just to do some kind of drippage effect. As I say, at this point I wasn't sure what direction I was going to take this card in, so really just kind of playing about to begin with. So get that drippage done and then I'll dry it again, but I had actually got quite a bit of water onto the card, so it did take a few minutes to dry, and then I noticed that actually it was sitting in a pool of water underneath. So dabbed that dry a bit and then went on to dry the back of the card. These cards are really standing up very well to a lot of wet media, but obviously I didn't want to risk continuing to work on it when it was so wet. So I've just pulled a few things out of my stash, including this bag of Tim Holtz items. So just sifting through those and just seeing if there's anything catches my interest, kind of putting a couple of things off to the side, and then, you know, off camera I just go through them for a bit longer. So here I am just trying to look at how things might be set out, and I just thought I just want to layer things today, get lots of things down, lots of layers, and now I'm just trying to sort of organise them in a way that look pleasing to the eye, I guess, for want of a better phrase. So at this point I think, right, let's just start sticking. So got my Mod Podge and I'm just going to put this, or a part of this doily, into place. And I just cut the overhang off right away. I then want to actually make sure that in terms of colour that fades into the background a bit. So I take the sponge and I have to add a little bit more paint. I had added some water there but there wasn't sufficient paint left on it. So I just added a bit of paint and dabbed it over. And immediately it started to feel like a better fit with the rest of the card. So again, just playing about with the various items that I'd pulled out, just looking at how they might sit together. And I'm trying to think whether to use that photo of the young woman or whether to use the butterfly. I think I've done a couple of cards with butterflies and I was trying to maybe do something different. But I do like butterflies. So there I am, just the same technique, just dabbing those little tags with the sponge with just a little bit of the raw umber on it. And I don't actually use everything that I've got pulled out. So now just taking some washi just to add some more interest, just another layer. And again having another bit of a play about. And I think it's around this stage that I can see how it's going to start to come together. At that point still couldn't decide between the young woman and the butterfly. So I start to just kind of grunge up those other items. And now that I know roughly where I want most of them to go, I just start to glue them into place. And I like that little bit of red in there, and I think one of the other tickets I use is red as well. It just gives it a bit of added interest, I think. So I like these small tags. I got them from the supermarket, a while back. I can't remember how many were in the pack, 50, maybe 100. So, you know, just one of those items that sit in my stash and come in handy every so often. And there I am again, just looking at the young woman or the butterfly, and I go for the butterfly. So I dried it off and then just cutting the overhangs off. So now taking the Stabilo wool, and if you've watched previous videos where I've been using this, you'll know that I just start with a little bit to begin with, see how it looks, and then usually go in a bit harder later. But I always feel I can add more, whereas it's more difficult to take it away. And although much of the original kind of base background has been covered up, there's still fragments of that showing through. And just using that wet brush just to blend out the Stabilo wool just a little bit. And I always think this helps emphasise the different layers. And again, just using the sponge just to dab away at bits of it. I then notice I have that white edge there, so I take the Stabilo wool again just to cover that up. And then I like the effect that's created down the edge, so I go all around the card, all around the ATC with the Stabilo. And I do take a wet brush just to blend it out a little bit, and again I go over it with the sponge just to lift those kind of hard edges from it. So I quite like it at this stage, but I feel it just needs a little something. So I get out this copper coloured glitter, and I decide that I mainly want it, or I really only want it on the butterfly. So the way that I'm going to do it is to take the glossy accents and just put little spots of that on, mainly around the edges of the butterfly and kind of down the centre of it. So not too much at all. And then I'm very gently lifting that out, although in a second I managed to bump the little card and I put it everywhere. So shaking off the excess, and in a moment I'll get a dry paintbrush and just take it off the areas that I don't want it. As I say, I mainly wanted it on the butterfly, though it's quite difficult glitter. It's so fine, it just tends to kind of go everywhere. Don't have an awful lot of control over it. Now I'm going to go around the edge with my StazOll in black. Did I say StazOll? StazOn? StazOn. And again, just brushing off little bits of the glitter. So I now get my sentiment out. And I'm going for Sprinkle Love. Which I just thought fitted with the glitter that I'd sprinkled onto the butterfly. And there we have it. So that's number 25 done. So thanks very much for watching. Please join me again. Bye for now.